Welcome to the Cenario podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really trying to cut through the noise around one specific molecule. It's DHA Omega-3 fatty acids. Our mission, to pull out the most crucial knowledge you need straight from the research sources we've gathered. And these sources, they gave us a pretty massive insight right off the bat. DHA isn't just, helpful. It's actually an architectural component.
And that structural role, that's precisely why healthcare experts are paying such close attention. I mean, omega-3s, they're truly essential polyunsaturated fats.
Right. Essential meaning?
Meaning the human body just can't produce enough of them itself. We absolutely must get them from our diet or supplements. And when we talk about these fats, we usually focus on the main three: ALA, EPA, and, well, the star for today, DHA.
Okay, and based on what we're seeing in the sources, that structural architectural element you mentioned, that seems to be the core reason DHA really stands out.
Exactly.
It has these vital, almost foundational functions, really focused on the structure of the brain, eye health, and also keeping the cardiovascular system robust.
Precisely.
Okay, let's start with the lineup then. Because understanding where they come from, the source, seems key to understanding the whole dilemma here.
Definitely.
So we have ALA, that's alpha-linolenic acid, that's the plant-based one, right?
Okay.
Found in flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts.
Yep, that's your ALA. Then you've got EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid. That's mostly found in fatty fish, and it's widely known for, its anti-inflammatory effects and more direct heart benefits.
Got it. And number 3?
And then DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. This one's primarily marine-derived, think fish and algae, and it serves that really critical structural role we talked about.
Okay.
But here's the big catch, the major caveat, which really explains why supplements or specific food choices become so important. While your body can technically convert ALA into EPA and then into DHA, well, biologically, it's kind of a train wreck of inefficiency.
Okay, define train wreck. How bad is this conversion rate really? I want you, the listener, to grasp why just relying on, say, that daily tablespoon of flaxseed might not cut it.
Yeah, it's practically negligible for DHA. We're talking maybe 5% or even less of the ALA you eat converting all the way to EPA.
Just 5% to EPA.
Or less, yeah. And then the final step, the conversion amount, that actually results in usable DHA. It's even smaller than that. It's tiny.
Wow.
So that highly inefficient pathway, that's the research's really clear message. If you want the maximum benefits, especially for cognitive function and visual health, you need that preformed DHA directly from marine or algal sources.
The implications of needing it directly, especially when you look at the structural numbers, they're just staggering. Listen to this. DHA is the most abundant omega-3 in the brain. It makes up, up to 40% of the polyunsaturated fatty acids there?
40%, yeah. And in the retina of the eye, it's even more, over 60%.
60% in the retina. What does that kind of density actually mean for, the day-to-day running of the brain?
It means flexibility and communication, basically. DHA literally helps build the cell membranes themselves. It maintains the necessary fluidity and flexibility of those brain cells. And this is absolutely crucial for efficient synaptic transmission, that rapid chemical messaging between neurons.
Right, the signaling.
Exactly, which is the engine for memory, for learning, focus, attention, even mood regulation. It's fundamental.
Does the research suggest that this structural role also acts defensively? Maybe protecting the brain against, say, inflammation or stress?
Precisely. Higher DHA intake seems to offer neuroprotection. By helping protect those cells from chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, we see data suggesting it potentially lowers the risk factors linked with serious neurodegenerative disorders, things like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's.
And for vision, that 60% figure in the retina, that's just incredible.
It really speaks to how necessary it is. As a key structural piece, getting enough DHA is linked to reducing the risk of macular degeneration, which is a major cause of vision loss as people get older, and just maintaining visual clarity throughout life. And then you look at the earliest stages of life. DHA is simply non-negotiable. It's critical for the development of the baby's brain and eyes in the womb, especially during the third trimester when brain growth really peaks.
Right.
That's why it's so fundamental for visual system development in newborns, too, and why you often see it added directly into infant formula.
Okay, so brain and eyes covered. Clearly essential there for those like microscopic cellular structures. What about something massive and pumping, like the heart? We know chronic inflammation is a huge contributor to heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
And DHA seems to be an active player there too, right?
Yeah.
Lowering inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, CRP.
Absolutely. The benefits in the cardiovascular system are pretty substantial. First off, DHA helps promote the relaxation of blood vessels,
Oh,
which directly helps keep blood pressure in a healthier range, reducing the risk of hypertension. Second, it improves what's called endothelial function, basically supporting the inner lining of your blood vessels.
which means
Better circulation and less risk of that dangerous plaque buildup, atherosclerosis.
And the research is quite clear that DHA impacts triglycerides too, which is a common concern for people keeping an eye on their heart health.
Oh, it's a significant benefit. DHA, especially when it works together with EPA, has been shown to significantly reduce those elevated triglyceride levels, and those are linked to increased cardiovascular risk.
Okay.
And finally, it seems to support the heart's electrical stability, sort of acting as a safeguard against dangerous arrhythmias or abnormal heart rhythms.
Okay, before we just talk broadly about heart benefits, though, we really have to tackle the subtle, but it seems critical difference the research points out. Why is DHA the sort of cognitive and visual superstar, but EPA often seems to get tagged as the preferred choice for reducing, like, immediate cardiac events?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really comes down to targeted action and the weight of clinical evidence for specific outcomes. While DHA is definitely effective for brain and visual function, the clinical evidence looking specifically at its role in reducing cardiovascular events like heart attacks, well, it's a bit more mixed.
Oh.
The EPA, on the other hand, is generally seen in studies as more consistent, maybe more powerful in directly reducing those kinds of events.
So the preferred use cases kind of reflect that difference then. We'd want DHA prioritized for, say, infants, pregnant women, older adults focus on cognitive health.
Exactly.
But if the main goal is strictly managing heart disease or tackling high cholesterol or reducing systemic inflammation in an adult, then EPA is often prioritized, maybe alongside DHA.
Precisely. They're essential partners, really, but they do seem to specialize. DHA for structuring cognition, EPA perhaps more for tackling existing cardiovascular issues and inflammation.
That makes perfect sense, targeting the right tool for the right job. Okay, let's get practical then. Since we know relying on the body's own conversion process is pretty much a losing game for DHA, what are our direct, reliable ways to get it preformed?
Yeah, good question. You need those direct marine or algal sources. So fatty fish are the classic go-to. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies.
This is my fish.
Some mesh fish, exactly. Cod liver oil is another strong source. Tuna works too, though moderation is usually suggested there because of potential mercury concerns.
Right.
And crucially, for listeners who are vegan or follow a plant-based diet, algae-based products are the direct source. They provide that preformed DHA without needing any fish.
Good point.
Yeah.
And what are the standard consumption targets the sources lay out for us? How much should people aim for?
Well, for general healthy adults, the common recommendation is around 250 to 500 milligrams of combined DHA and EPA daily.
Okay.
Combined, yeah. But this shifts pretty quickly based on life stage or health needs. Like, a pregnant woman needs an increased target, often around 200 to 300 milligrams of DHA specifically each day, purely for that critical fetal development.
Right, for the baby's brain and eyes. And what if someone is actively managing existing heart issues?
That's where the dose usually jumps up significantly, often to 1,000 milligrams or even more of EPA plus DHA daily. But, and this is important, that higher level should always be under medical guidance.
Definitely.
For a healthy adult, just try and meet the minimums, though. Aiming for about 2 servings of fatty fish per week usually covers the base recommendation pretty well.
Okay. And if diet isn't enough or not possible for someone, supplements are obviously the next step. You've got the standard fish oil capsules, which have both EPA and DHA. And then the algae oil you mentioned, which is the plant-based, vegan-friendly option. Let's spend a quick moment on safety, because the research highlights one really critical interaction we have to emphasize.
Absolutely essential point. For most people, these supplements are tolerated really well. You might get some minor side effects, maybe an upset stomach, a bit of bloating, mild nausea, or, the infamous fishy burps.
Yes.
But there's a critical warning from the sources that needs highlighting. High doses of omega-3s can potentially increase the risk of bleeding.
Okay, that sounds serious.
It is something to be aware of. So If you are currently taking blood-thinning medication, something like warfarin, for example, you must consult your doctor before you start taking DHA or any omega-3 supplement, or if you plan to increase your dose, that's non-negotiable.
Really important advice. Okay, probably the most fascinating part of digging into this research, for me at least, is realizing the sheer breadth of DHA's potential beyond those core three areas: brain, eyes, heart. Scientists are looking at applications across the whole body now, often driven by that anti-inflammatory power it has.
Exactly. It's really expanding. For instance, in rheumatoid arthritis, some studies suggest DHA might help reduce joint pain and stiffness. And circling back to cognition, there are ongoing studies suggesting that consistent DHA intake might help slow down cognitive decline, particularly in older adults who are already dealing with, say, mild memory issues.
What about mood? We touched on mood regulation earlier when we talked about brain function.
Yeah, there's some emerging evidence there, too. It suggests DHA can indeed support mood balance and maybe even reduce some symptoms associated with depression. It's still developing research, but promising.
And even skin health. That seems unexpected.
It does, but it makes sense inflammation-wise.
Yeah.
There's fascinating new research looking at skin health. It suggests DHA might help by reducing inflammation in the skin, maybe improving hydration, and helping maintain the skin's natural barrier function, which in turn could protect against oxidative stress and maybe even premature aging.
Wow. Okay. So much potential.
So, to kind of synthesize everything we've talked about, DHA Omega-3 really is a cornerstone nutrient for long-term foundational health. It's critical for brain development, vision protection, cardiovascular support. And the absolute key takeaway, I think, is that the body's own conversion of plant-based ALA is just too poor to rely on for optimal levels. That makes getting DHA directly from marine sources or high-quality algal supplements pretty essential if you want to really realize its full benefit.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Given this emerging research that connects DHA not just to the brain and heart, but also potentially to mood, mental well-being, even skin health areas, we might not typically focus on nutritionally. How might optimizing your intake fundamentally change your approach? Maybe shift it towards overall preventative wellness, rather than just focusing narrowly on heart health alone.
Interesting question.
Yeah, maybe think about your specific life goals right now. Are you prioritizing cognitive focus, maybe memory and learning? Or is your priority managing cardiovascular risk factors? That specific question, that personal goal, could really guide your choice on whether to perhaps lean more towards DHA or maybe prioritize EPA or ensure a good balance of both in your daily regimen. Definitely something to mull over until our next deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.